Give the people what they want, cause I got it. I ain't lying. Locked in, I do it just for profit. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I break it down just like that. I ain't lying. Love it how I run the town just like that.
What's up, Magic fans? I'm Dan Savage, and we're here with Magic Game Day Live, getting ready for the Orlando Magic road game against the Utah Jazz. That'll air at 9:30 and Dual Sports Network. Dante Marcatelli, JT, Kendra Douglas will be there for the call. So, what do we know about the Orlando Magic matchup tonight? Well, for one thing, we know the Magic will once again be shorthanded. Jalen Suggs is out, Franz Wagner's out, Mo Wagner's out. And, we know which way things are trending for Tristan da Silva as well. So the Magic are going to have to battle through and find ways to win in Utah. Um, they're a team that has a high-powered offense. They're up there at the top of the league in points scored, offensive ratings. So they're a team that they're going to have to be prepared for. And so, we're just getting word now that Tristan da Silva is going to be out as well. Jonathan Isaac, on the other hand, will be available tonight. So one extra body for the Magic, and the two G League players that were out here for the showcase, Jamal Cain, Orlando Robinson, have joined the team in Utah, and they'll also be available. So if you have any questions, you want to hop in tonight, especially on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok, more than happy to answer your questions as we get ready. Lewis, appreciate the love. Dan Savage, Prainga, what's good, Dan? A lot's good tonight. We get another night of Magic basketball on the West Coast. Always better when these things fall on a Friday night, Saturday night, etc., where a lot of people don't have work the next day. You always feel the chat's a little bit more lively. Kyle Gaming, Utah gives up a lot of points too. Excellent point. While they are at the top of the league in offensive, output, on the other hand, they're struggling on the defensive end. They give up the most points per game, and they have the second worst defensive rating. So the Magic, it's going to be a track meet tonight. They're going to be getting up and down a lot. They're going to have to contain Utah's guards, Keontae George, etc. But if they're able to do that, I think they come away with a victory and even up this 4-game road trip. Wagner's aren't on the trip, correct? Yep, those guys are back here in Orlando rehabbing, and hopefully we'll get them back sooner or later. One thing I did like about the injury report today is Jalen Suggs wasn't ruled out right off the bat. He had a doubtful tag early on, and that to me shows signs that he's steadily making progress. So when we look at tonight's matchup, look at the points. Utah is putting up almost 120 points per game, shooting 46% from the field. Not creating so much points off turnovers, second chance points. They're just coming from sheer volume. So that's an area the Magic are going to have to match tonight. Where I do expect the Magic to get points is in transition. I think that'll be a big factor. And one guy who's playing extremely well right now is the guy on camera, Paolo Banchero. He had a triple-double against the Denver Nuggets, 26 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists, really stuffing the stat sheet. And I thought came on late in the second half to give the Magic another push, which they almost came back and really got in that game. So a corner three-pointer off a Jokic double put the end of the Magic with that Cam Johnson corner three. Like that AB brought up Keontae George during media availability. Hopefully he studied that matchup. That's a funny thing, those guys go back to draft era and before that. They're good friends. So if anybody knows Keontae's game, it's going to be AB. But first, we're going to take a look at Paolo Banchero's numbers versus the Nuggets. 26 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists, as we already said. Shot nearly 43% from the field. He did a lot of things well in that game, and I thought really in the second half came alive. And that's where we're hoping that P5 picks up. Anthony Black, another strong showing against the Nuggets. With guys out, you need guys like Anthony Black to step up. He did that with a 22-point performance. Left a bunch of points at the free throw line. That's an area where AB still needs to step up and improve his game, shooting nearly 45% from the field. But what I do like is he's being aggressive, getting to the rack, finishing at the rim. Yeah, Prying Ed, no, they go back, so that's another thing to keep a matchup with this Anthony Black, Keontae George thing. They know each other well. Kendra Douglas talked a little bit to AB about their relationship, so a little teaser for what you see on FanDuel Sports Network with Kendra's Corner. I have a feeling it's going to touch on the relationship between those two, so that's a little teaser for what's to come. Lewis, double double Dell is going to be big tonight. Yes, I agree. Dell showed a lot in that matchup against Joker. That is not an easy matchup going against Nikola Jokic. He matched up well with the Joker. Really was aggressive on the offensive end, and with bodies down, that's the type of Dell you need. A guy not only spotting up and knocking down his open threes, but putting the ball on the floor a little bit, creating extra offensive action. We saw that from Dell. I hope we see a little bit more of that tonight. Bain has stepped up brilliantly after his slow start. Yes, he has. He had a little bit of a, okay performance. I wouldn't say he was at his best against the Nuggets. If they could get one of those Desmond Bain big 30-point games tonight, I feel like that could swing the tide of this game. Any new updates on Mo? No, he's still staying back and rehabbing. We probably won't get another big update on Mo Wagner until the team gets back up off this trip, and then we'll see where he's at. Who's going to guard P5? This is a game where he could really out physical anyone. Yeah, that's a good point. I think Utah has shown a number of different lineups when Markkinen and Walker Kessler are out, as they are tonight. They've gone with some double big lineups. I expect them to try to find ways to clog the paint and try to make the Magic beat them from the outside. But that's easier said than done when you have guys like P5 and you could surround them with some shooters like Jet Howard, who stepped up, Jace Richardson, who stepped up, Desmond Bain, etc., Wendell Carter, who's among the best three-point shooters in the league. So even though Utah is going to really try to pack the paint and limit P5, probably send multiple bodies at him, I still think he has a big game tonight. Any predictions for the game tonight? I think this is going to be one of those games where if the Magic are effective in transition, really have their defense lead to offense, this is one where they could win handily. So that's kind of my prediction. If they start off with the defensive end as their head coach wants them to, they could have a big night tonight. Pencils and brushes. Looking at some of the comments on TikTok now, wish Paolo shot a little bit better. Yeah, I think Paolo does too. That's one of the things he touched on in his post-game media availability is, he wasn't satisfied with the triple-double. He thought there were more shots he could have knocked down to help the Magic get back in the game. But that's a product of him missing 10 games due to that groin injury. He's a rhythm player, and we're slowly seeing him get back into that rhythm and flow that he had at the start of the season, was getting into before that groin injury hit. Magic by 20, I love that. That's the kind of optimism we need. Somebody got a badge, love to see that, hang around here. Big fan of Magic, play them as in 2K, love to see that. The 2K, NBA 2K league's coming back a little bit, and fans are having the opportunity to be part of the league playing, so it's something you want to keep an eye on if you're a big 2K league player. Do we get to watch the game live here? Nope. That'll be on FanDuel Sports Network. So you have the opportunity to tune into that. There's different packages you can get if you look at their website. Buckets, buckets, buckets. It's going to be raining tonight. Yeah, this is one of those matchups where you could expect high point totals. And I think if Magic head coach Jamal Mosley has his way, Anthony Black's going to be defending and creating opportunities through his defense, and that's going to translate up and down the roster. So while Keontae George is averaging close to 24 points per game, I expect his usage rate to be even higher tonight with Lauri Markkinen out, Walker Kessler out. They're going to be looking to guys like Keontae George to pick up the offensive load. We heard the Magic say it repeatedly in their media availability leading up to this. Containing Utah's backcourt is the number one priority for them heading in tonight. You like Brian? I likes how P5 has grown as a passer and a floor general so far this year. Absolutely, I think that holds true for AB. That holds true for Paolo. Both guys have developed as playmakers. Even Jalen Suggs as well. We could toss him in that mix, even though he's not playing tonight, but is steadily making progress with that kind of hip contusion. Next Saturday against Denver is going to be a big payback game. I have a feeling that could be the case. You get some bodies back. You really played them well in that matchup, found some things that work for you, look to build on that, and maybe keep an eye and bodies on Jamal Murray next time over the course of those runs. I thought he was taking advantage of a short-handed Magic team who had some guys, that didn't want to get further in foul trouble and were trying to deal with the altitude, etc. So, uh, you know, Utah is fourth worst in the West. Yes, that is the case, but they have guys who are dangerous on that roster. And fourth worst in the West, isn't saying all that much. This team's 10 and it's 16, has close to a 500 record at home. So they're a little bit of a record indicating placement in the West Conference indicates guys like Deontay George are behind that. Looking at some of the other ones, Magic winning a championship. I like that. It's matchups like tonight that go so far into where the team will be come the end of the season. Because if you win the games you're supposed to win, you put yourself in position to potentially host a first round playoff series. And then if you win some games on top of that, that maybe you're not expected to win or more difficult, you can put yourself in a position to be even hosting games later into the postseason. So tonight, I put this, even with the Magic shorthanded, even though they're on the road and out west, I put this in the bucket of games that I expect the team to win. Playing a shorthanded Utah team who's still trying to find their way, even with a high-powered offense. So, yeah, two young teams. That's a great point, David. Two young teams versus young teams. Yep, and I think the difference maker for the Magic is they've got two established guys in Desmond Bane, Paolo Banchero, really through when you tag in Wendell Carter Jr., who know what it takes at this level in the league. And that's a little bit more stability in the starting lineup than Utah has right now. Championship winning gold tag on the back of the Magic jersey. Ooh, that would be nice when you talk about Christmas presents to get people, holiday gifts to get people in future years. That one would be one of them. If the Magic had come through with the championship, people would be lining up to buy those. Seeing a lot of people earn badges in the Twitter feed. So, that's I'm sorry, in the TikTok feed. So that's an area you can continue to ask questions. More than happy to answer them. We have fans asking what the environment's like there. One thing you want to know about the Utah crowd, regardless of circumstances, Utah's fans know how to bring it. They are always ready and lively. That's why over the history of the NBA, Utah, even with up and down season, has historically had a good home record. Another area where underrated altitude. They often get Eastern Conference teams on the second night of a back-to-back. Teams going out west, and then on top of that, they have a good home crowd, a lively building. So it's always a tough place to play. I feel like it's one of the more underrated venues in terms of fan atmosphere in the NBA. A couple of fan fun questions. Oh, I like this. All-time Magic starting five. If you could plug any former Magic player into the roster as a six-man, who are you choosing? Ooh, that's a good one. I think with this team, I think historically you could just go, hey, look, Shaq, you've got dominance, Dwight dominance. I'm kind of torn there between T-Mac, just giving the Magic another scoring punch. I think T-Mac would fit so well in this era of basketball. And Dwight, just because I think Paolo, Bane, Franz in the pick and roll with Dwight Howard and him cleaning up mistakes on the defensive end would be so huge. So that would be good. I like the ideas with Penny as well. All-time starting five. Gonna go with Penny. At the one, he's such a high-end player there. And then on top of that, you've got your Dwights, your Shaqs, and so those are going to be three. T-Mac is mentioned at the two, and so it really comes down to that third player all time. I think eventually we're going to be saying Paolo, Franz in those spots. But right now, I'm gonna go with Rashard Lewis just for what he did for the team, getting them to the finals. So right now, in terms of players who are done playing for the Magic, I'm gonna go with Penny, T-Mac, Rashard, Dwight, Shaq is my all-time starting five. And Hito, yeah, that's a great point as well. Want to host Boston in the first round between 7 games in the Kia Center. Well, that would be a nice one. Some good payback for last season. I like the way you T-Mac, Dwight Howard. Yep, we're on the same page, Joanne. Uh, like that as well. There's some, JJ Redick's 3-point shooting. We could use that. And he's a smart basketball mind. We see what he's doing as a head coach with the Lakers. So, he would be another good fit. Vince Carter, speaking to my heart there. Vince is one of my favorites of all time. I grew up in New Jersey, so when he was playing for the New Jersey Nets, watched him a lot, and getting the opportunity to cover him firsthand. Just a first class player and first class person. It's no wonder he's doing wonders. Now in the broadcast booth. Appreciate the thoughts, Lewis, on my all-time starting five. Happy to hear your guys. You want to plug in your all-time Magic starting five. I love seeing what different fans think and what their mindset goes into making that. There's seeing some Tyus Jones. I think he could have a big game tonight. This kind of matchup plays to his strengths. We're up tempo, high pace game, defense a little bit lacking on the Utah side. This is going to be, one of those games where I could see Tyus Jones sneak into double figures. So he's a guy that I would keep an eye on tonight that could be outperforming his season average. We're going to see what's upcoming for the Magic next after this Utah game at Golden State Warriors, December 22nd, Monday, 10 p.m. That's going to be a late start. When you think you had much time to recover from that one, you don't. The day before Christmas Eve, Magic are going to be at Portland playing a pesky Blazers team who they always seem to get on the second night of a back-to-back that just knows how to be aggressive, get in you, and make things difficult. So that's going to be a tough one for the Magic. And then coming home after the holidays and hosting the Charlotte Hornets. So that's, 3 games for the Magic. Some tough, elements to all of them. Coming back off the West Coast trip is often the most difficult game of a West Coast trip, in my opinion, that first game back. So 3 tough tasks, but at the same time, 3 games that Magic could take. Unlikely jellyfish, Tyus needs points. Yes. Look, if you're in the starting lineup, as Tyus could be tonight, you need to put up starting point numbers, and I think that's going to be a key for Tyus Jones. And this could be one of the games that really gets him going because we already see, he sets up the Magic's offense. He gets assists. He doesn't turn the ball over, but putting up some additional points would help him go a long way as well. Jace needs Tyus minutes tonight. I think we're going to see Jason's minutes continue to grow. Jace has, made the most of every opportunity. And I think, Magic head coach Jamal Mosley likes to make his player earn their minutes. And I think Jace is doing exactly that. He's steadily, taking control of his minutes and making the most of them. Magic head coach Jamal Mosley sees the same thing that you all are seeing, which is that Jace is putting himself in position. Look, when you have veterans ahead of you in this league, you have to prove it. You have to prove it in practice. You have to prove it on the court. You have to do it consistently. And I think that's what Jace is doing. He has the pedigree. He brings it on both ends of the floor. You could feel his spirit and energy. And one thing I like is he stays ready and doesn't try to do too much, play outside of himself when he gets his minutes. He plays, above his age level. So I love that. Jets ball, 3-ball was crazy the other night. I feel bad I had started to cast him aside in my mind. Yeah, I think what we're seeing from Jet is he's making the most of his opportunity, and that's what you really have to ask for a player like that. He's taking advantage of the additional opportunities he's getting with guys down, and he's making the most of it. And I think what I really like about Jet, because we all know he could shoot the basketball, is that Jet Howard is also playing better defense this season. And he's really playing within the structure of the team's defensive game plan. And that is something that has been challenged to him, and he's taken advantage of it and matched up to that challenge. You really have to tip your head to that. Jeff Turner, Michael Doliak, Greg Kite, Sam Vincent, Otis Smith, all-time starting 5. Magic fan since '89. You don't even have to mention that. It's like, how do you say you're a Magic fan from '89 without saying you're a Magic fan from '89? You list that lineup. That's how you do it. Jet with more minutes of development could be huge. Yeah, this is again these games right now where you're shorthanded. Opportunities for Jet, opportunities for Jace, opportunities for Noah to show that They belong in the rotation and force Magic head coach Jamal Mosley's hand. That's what he wants. That, is for guys to make the most of their opportunity. Those guys will have opportunities tonight. Before you go, can we talk about Goga for a minute? Yeah, Goga's had some strong showings. One thing is Goga admired Nikola Jokic from afar, watching him play in Serbia while he was over in Georgia, etc. And so, when he has those opportunities, he wants to show out. And Goga did that in stretches of that Denver game, some really big blocks, and that steal at half court goes behind his back and comes down with the dunk. That's the type of energy you need to see from Goga every night. When he brings it on both ends of the floor, good things tend to happen. So high level for energy for Goga tonight. And I think, he could really help change the second unit against a depleted Utah team. Goga, love that guy. How could he not love Goga? How could he not love Goga? Looking at the comments on TikTok again. Is Anthony Black starting tonight? I would expect him to. The team's yet to announce the starting lineup, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the same starting lineup as the night before. Looking for a big game from Anthony Black from Beyond the Rabbit Hole. Yeah, I think this is a big game for Anthony Black because, one, he's going to have the primary defensive assignment of defending Keontae George. If he could do that while still putting up a 20-point performance on the other end, I really like the way that math bodes for the Orlando Magic. That steal from Gogo was fire. Yeah, the first thing I did with that was go back on our highlight system, rewind it, and see how he created that again. So yes, that was a big play, and I felt really set the tone early in that game that helped the Magic get that big lead that eventually they gave up, but it was such a big turning point at that stage in the game. Was it Jake Man? Go Badger. Is it Jake Chapman that came up with it? I can't. It's either Jake, David Steele. Both of them, are of that era where Gadget existed. Inspector Gadget. It may escape some of the younger fans, but fans of my era, etc. No. Nitro, yes, sir. I agree with you. Who's on your all-star agenda? Well, you got to try to get P5 and Franz Wagner in there, but a big thing for both of those guys is going to be health. Would love to see one of the Magic ancillary players or other players get in there, whether it be three-point shooting. Jace going to be in Rising Stars potentially. Tristan De Silva's got an opportunity to be there. So those are guys want to see as well. Goga and Jace's steals were great. Yes, they were. Well, Magic fans, we have discussed a lot of topics that pertain to tonight's game with the Utah Jazz. If you want to catch all that action, you're going to tune into FanDuel Sports Network starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Just 6 minutes from now, you're going to have the pregame show with Kendra and Jeff Turner, and that's going to carry over into tonight's broadcast at 9:30 p.m. on FanDuel Sports Network, where Dante, JT, and Kendra will have the call, bringing you all the action. And remember, Magic fans, we'll be back here on Monday discussing a high-profile game against the Golden State Warriors. Tune into tonight's broadcast. Be back here at 9 p.m. on Monday, and we'll catch you next time.
I'm from another dimension. Now that I got your attention, tell me who can do it better. Never the two, never the lesser. Why you all up in my face? What's the deal? Run the city.